All right, after walking a little bit further, I like this even better. It's facing east. It's got a little bit of overhang here. It'll be low to the ground because you want to keep your body as small and your shelter as small as possible. You want the least amount of surface area. It's flat. The other one was going to go uphill, so it's going to make me have a taller shelter that had more, you know, air to heat in there, so to speak. But over here I can kind of get up in here a little bit. So I think this is going to be the spot. I'm liking this so far. So here we go. Get up in there and have some rocks. Sometimes you can move them if you're lucky, and sometimes you can't. So if you can't move them, maybe you can use some of the debris that's around here to pad those rocks that you end up having. A lot of this material build up on the sides for the wind. Good thing about fall is you get a lot of material. A whole lot of material. All right, here we go. That's a good size right here. Crawl right up in there if you don't want it too tall. It's supposed to be below freezing tonight, so the smaller the better. Don't need a Taj Mahal by any means. A lot of people complain about how long it takes them to build a shelter. Don't overthink it. And let your body do a lot of the work. See, 2 feet on that stick worked way better than 1 foot in it. And pay attention to when you're laying some of these sticks. Like this third stick is too low. Flip it over. Make sure it stays flipped over. Looks like it's going to be a problem later. Plenty of debris out here. Use everything. Doesn't matter how big or small it is. Some of the stuff will lay down once it gets heavier stuff on it. We'll keep going because our initial framework is important because it's got to hold the rest of the debris that we're going to pile on this lean table. Some of these will be shorter, and that's okay. You lean them up in here in between. Start piling it on. Plenty of material around here. That's the other thing when you're picking a location. If the location's got a lot of material, less work for you to do to go hunt and drag stuff to your location. I like to bring my hatchet when I come out here too, so I can cut stuff to length. See there, nibble on it a bit and snap it in half. Don't even have to cut it in half. Once you get it going and get it halfway, snap it in half. A lot of dead wood. Don't overthink it. So I found a really good tree that I want to use because I can get some long lengths out of it. And this is my S-wing hatchet that I always bring. Always sharpen it before you come out, of course. There's some good videos on YouTube how to sharpen these. Come in from the angle. You don't come straight down, because when you sharpen, you're sharpening the two sides at an angle. So you come and chop at an angle. Like I talked about a while ago, I can probably snap this in half now. Maybe not, just a little thicker piece. want these to rotate. See this, we could rotate down here. It's gonna make it tougher for me to crawl in. Make sure when you're putting some of these in, if they have a bow, you're rotating them where it's gonna work. You'll then there we go. I found some pretty straight ones right over there. You know, this is about that part where I always like to talk about if we were on that show alone, I ain't out there building a Taj Mahal. I'm getting focused on building something as small as possible, especially in the beginning. Maybe in time, you build that Taj Mahal as time permits. But running a hatchet and dragging limbs, breaking limbs, you can hear the way I'm breathing right now. That means I'm burning way more calories than normal. So ideally, less use of a hatchet, more finding limbs that are fit for purpose, and less work, burning less calories, getting set up as soon as possible, especially if it was going to be dark in an hour. So those are some of the things I think about, that everybody should think about when they're building a debris hut. Keep it small, just larger than your body. After we're done with all the sticks for our skeleton and framework, we're going to pile so much debris, this thing's going to blend in with its surroundings. All right. Maybe not. Gotta leave this alone. It's all good. Don't get hurt. What you don't want to put on here right now is a bunch of limbs that stick out like that, because I need to really get stuff flat. Later I can put stuff like that, so it's even, this one over here might need to go bye-bye because it's, you know, causing me an issue with building out that other side. So a few more limbs and I'll feel pretty good with this side. That way we get more efficient use out of this. If I broke it up a little bit. Heck yeah. Alright. And we had that rock we took out a while ago. This could be a good time where you could use a rock to build the front up just a little bit. So just an idea there. All right, move to the other side and keep bending it. Quite. Right there though. All right, a few more sticks to get the framework better over here. Then time to pile on massive amounts of debris. Ho, ho, ho. Not good. Now, you can lay some across it, which will also help keep things stable, keep things in place as you're putting the leaves on there and additional sticks, especially as we start putting smaller sticks on. All right, here we go. We'll start laying it on. Now, before I do too much of that, I'll film around it and show y'all how it's looking. All right, so we're 22 minutes, and I got a really good framework. So the youth typically will nuke this out, and they will overthink it. They will be 4 hours into a build and won't have anything yet. Show them. This is how simple it is. Find something like this, lean the logs against it and sticks, and then we're gonna pile so many leaves, you can't see through this thing. All right, so here we go with the leaf piling. Go. I think we're right about 29 minutes. Just take a breather for a second. Take a drink. And remember, probably one of the simplest survival shelters or bushcraft shelters that you're going to build, and one of the fastest. So again, day one on alone, I'm going to build me a lean-to or debris hut. I'm not getting too crazy because I'm going to focus on where is the food and where do I really want to make my camp versus let me run out and just start building Taj Mahal when I haven't even mapped out a good food plan. You can live in this shelter for a long time, not have to worry about anything. And you should only be in here when you're sleeping. When you're not sleeping, get out there and be hunting and gathering. You got the gist of it though? Just layering and layering and layering and layering. All right, by now, I believe I've tackled most of the areas that I can still see daylight from out here. You see how dark it's in here now, right? And you remember how it started. It was all daylight when we started. Now, it does look like that stick flipped over. I'll have to flip it back over because it's compromising some of the space. So next, I'm going to fix that, and then we'll get my pad rolled up in here. All right. Should be as easy as rotating this one. Maybe even taking it out. If I can do so without too much disturbance. Now, one thing I want to point out is there's not that many leaves that are in here that fell through. So if you layer the sticks enough, you won't have as many leaves that get into the debris hut. All right, so obviously I need to work over here. I need to work down there. Spot here, spot there, spot there. If I was just trying to move faster to get, to the guts of the video, I'll come back and pile more leaves on it. So I'm going to reposition things, and I'm going to grab my equipment to bring in here. right, so what did I bring on this trip as I get things out and get ready? So here is trail mix and snacks for the trail, and right here was my Gore-Tex outer shell because it was cold this morning and it will be cold tomorrow. And at the top of the pack there are dehydrated meals. In the top of the pack I brought a couple forks, headlight, flashlight, compass, first aid kit. Alright, let me zip that up. Inside the pack over here, your hand trowel and your toilet paper, your flint and steel, some fat wood, Mylar bag. Alright, and cotton balls and Vaseline over here, because I can start any type of fire with those items there. And there's plenty of videos on the channel about how you start fire with cotton balls and Vaseline with flint and steel, or cotton balls and Vaseline with a Fresnel lens. Lots of videos on that topic. Alright. I got my safety glasses in this pouch here. I got a change of clothes in here because obviously you get a little filthy from building a debris hut. Alright. I got my gloves here for hiking, or if I needed them while making this. I brought my tarp if I wanted to build a tarp shelter this time. Alright, we didn't end up, but there's plenty of videos on the channel using the Unigear. I brought the platypus so we can filter water. Oh, I brought my mat for sleeping because there are some rocks in here. I brought the Fresnel lens for building fires. There's plenty of videos on the channel with the Fresnel lens. I got some of my pants in here for tomorrow with the shirt. I brought this pillow. You never know, but it fit. And I was okay with it. And down there I've got my sleeping bag. Alright. So right now we're going to work on getting the sleeping mat in there in the sleeping bag. But before we do that, I'm going to pile on a few more leaves. So let me do that and then I'll start the video back. Alright, we're going to do the best we can to give you a first-person view of me coming up in here and setting it up. I added the additional debris outside. It's super dark in here now. Super duper dark. The only light we have is pretty much coming from the entrance. So the debris hut is pretty much built fit for purpose now. So next step, I will get my sleeping mat and bring it in here. But it's going to be very warm in this debris hut for tonight. It's going to be very fit for purpose. It's going to work out really well. Alright, so I'm backing out of here. I'm moving any of the remaining debris east. Why east? Because that's where the sticks meet the ground. No other reason than that. But also, if there was wind coming from the east, we're really blocking it now. First thing, always make sure every one of these ports is fully closed with a plug-in, and then, you know, we can roll this thing out some. And this is the type of sleeping mat that has a foot pump on it. So you do have to open its port on the foot pump. All right. So that's open. And let me roll this out a little bit, because that way, where this ripple is, I don't want it to block the entire view. But I'll show you how the foot pump goes for airing this thing up, and then I'll drag it in here. think that's pretty much it. Close the port. Take off any debris that we got. Alright. Pull that up in there. I'm going to grab my sleeping bag out of the bottom of this pack. This is one of my 0-degree bags here. Roll it up in there. All right, I'm gonna grab the camera now. All right, as you can see, super tight fitting in here, which is what you want. You don't want this stuff here much far off your face. Maybe you don't want it right in your face, but not too far off. We have no worries about the west wall of the shelter. It's rock, and it's somewhat overhanging rock too, which is awesome. The more overhanging, the better. All right, as you look up, you're not seeing a lot of daylight. As you're looking out, you're not seeing a lot of daylight out east, because I piled more and more leaves on here. There's some more leaves I need to pile on here, but the idea is the more leaves you have on here, then it becomes waterproof too. All right, so let me turn the camera around and just give another. So here's where the entrance is, and I'll come up with some mechanism maybe to block some of this, but I'm not too worried about it. But if I can find something easy to block that with, that'd be great. Now I am filling a draft through here still, so I'm going to put a bunch of debris over here. I did seal up all the holes back here, so they're all sealed up. There's just a few holes right above my head, so just a little bit more material to go on the very top. But again, simple lean-to shelter using a rock. This could have been a limb that was overhanging, but then you would have turned it into a debris hut. But here we are again in a simple lean-to shelter. I would say within about 30 minutes I had this thing pretty well built. But if you enjoyed this, please give us a thumbs up. Please share, please like, please subscribe. We appreciate everything. So thanks everybody. See y'all.